Hello and welcome back. This is the second class of this series, kind of an intermediate level, using the Bible as textbook, the BAT series. So this is my normal office, like I like to say, and so I'm going to redecorate it, I think. So any ideas of how to redecorate? We have this line from the air conditioner coming down. I should probably put something in front of there. And these pictures are kind of old, so I might replace some of these. But again, I want to make this as real as I can, right? This isn't a stage. We're not, professional actors. I'm just a teacher. And so I like to be as real as possible. Sometimes I have other classes in here. Plus this is part of my normal school. So I have other classrooms I work out of. So welcome to my actual school. This is my real office in my real school. Now, sometimes I may want to use a, virtual picture. Some of the pictures that I've taken because I love photography. So let me know, either in a live class or in comments or such things, what you'd like. So welcome to this. This is going to be all about contentment. What does the Bible say about contentment? What words can we use to learn about contentment? Let's learn together. So this unit is all about contentment. Proverbs 14:30. The life of the body is a heart at peace, but envy rots the bones. So here we have the word envy, 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 envy. You feel uncomfortable because you want what someone else has. Envy. So now we could word it, the life of the body is a heart at peace, but feeling uncomfortable because you want what someone else has rots the bones. So this idea of envy. Proverbs 19:23. The fear of Yahweh leads to life, then contentment. He rests and will not be touched by trouble. So here we have the word contentment, 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 contentment. You feel happy and satisfied about your life. So now we can say, the fear of Yahweh leads to life. Then feeling satisfied about your life. He rests and will not be touched by trouble. Contentment. 1 Timothy 6:8. But having food and clothing, we will be content with that. Content, content, content. You are happy and satisfied about your life. Content. But having food and clothing, we will be happy and satisfied with that. Content. 1 Timothy 6:9. But those who are determined to be rich fall into a temptation, a snare, and many foolish and harmful lusts, such as drown men in ruin and destruction. So we have a couple of words here. Fall into a temptation, temptation, temptation. This comes from tempted, 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 tempted. You want to do something that is wrong. You're tempted. Then we have this word snare, snare, snare. This is a trap usually for animals. And you're trapped. You can't get out. We have something called a mouse trap. Catches the mouse and he can't get away. That would be a snare. So then we have destruction, destruction, destruction. This means you cause damage that cannot be repaired. So much damage you can't fix it. Destruction. So we have these words: temptation, snare, destruction. But those who are determined to be rich fall into a specific thing you want to do, even though it is wrong, a trap you can't get out of, and many foolish and harmless lusts, such as drown men in ruin and damage that cannot be repaired. Temptation, snare, destruction. 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some have been led astray from the faith in their greed and have pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So here we have the word root, root, root. This is the origin or source of something. Its root, its origin. Sorrows, sorrows, sorrows. You are unhappy because many bad things have happened to you. Sorrows. So we have the words root and sorrows. For the love of money is a source of all kinds of evil. Some have been led astray from the faith in their greed and have pierced themselves through with many things they are unhappy with. Root and sorrows. Hebrews 13:6. So that with good courage we say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? So we have this word courage, 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 courage. You are able to do something that makes you scared. Oh, I can't do this. So courage. So it becomes so that with good ability to do things that make us scared, we say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? Courage. Psalm 118, verse 7. Yahweh is on my side among those who help me. Therefore, I will look in triumph at those who hate me. So we have this word triumph, 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 a victory. You win, a triumph. So now we can change this verse and say, Yahweh is on my side among those who help me. Therefore, I will look in victory at those who hate me. Triumph. Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart makes good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. So we have crushed, crushed, crushed. You are feeling great embarrassment or disappointment. Crushed. A cheerful heart makes good medicine, but a spirit of feeling great embarrassment or disappointment dries up the bones. Crushed. Luke 3:14. Soldiers also asked him, saying, "What about us? What must we do?" He said to them, "Extort from no one by violence, neither accuse anyone wrongfully. Be content with your wages." Extort, extort, extort. This means to obtain or get something by using violence, threats, or other bad ways. Extort. Then we have violence, violence, violence. This is physically hurting people, or also physically hurting things. If you show violence, you hit people, you break furniture, right? So, violence. Accuse, accuse, accuse. This is you claim that someone has done wrong or charge someone with a crime. You accuse them. They did it. They need punishment. The idea of accuse. So now we can put all this together. We have extort. We have accuse. We have content. He said to them, "Get something from people, from no one by violence. Neither charge someone with a crime wrongfully. Be happy and satisfied with your wages." Extort, accuse, content. Proverbs 15:16. Better is little with the fear of Yahweh than great treasure with trouble. Treasure, treasure, treasure. This is a lot of money, gold, or precious stones, like diamonds or rubies. Treasure. Better is little with the fear of Yahweh than a great amount of money, gold, or precious stones with trouble. Matthew 5:1. Seeing the multitudes, he went up onto the mountain. When he had sat down, his disciples came to him. Disciples, disciples, disciples. A disciple is a student or a follower of a teacher. A disciple. Matthew 5:4. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Mourn, mourn, mourn. This is feeling deep sadness about the death or disappearance of someone or something. You mourn the death of a loved one. Maybe you mourn the death of your dog who you really loved. To mourn. Comforted, comforted, comforted. This is helping someone feel less sadness or grief. So we have these two words, mourn and comforted. Blessed are those who feel deep sadness at a death or disappearance, for they shall feel less sadness or grief. Mourn, comforted. Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. So we have this word, gentle, gentle, gentle. Being kind and tender, not harsh or angry with people. This is where we get the word gentleman, right? A man should be a gentleman. He should be kind and tender with people, not angry and harsh. Gentle. Matthew 5:5 then would be, blessed are the kind and tender, for they shall inherit the earth. Gentle. Matthew 5:7. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. So we have this word merciful, merciful, merciful. This is forgiving and showing compassion to someone who you have a right or ability to punish, like a judge in a law court. They could say, guilty, go to jail. Or they could show mercy and say, I'll give you a less sentence, or maybe just probation. I could give you mercy. You deserve worse, but I'm going to give you something better. Merciful. Obtain, obtain, obtain. Simply means to get something. You can obtain wealth, money. So this is the idea of obtain, to get something. So now we can have merciful and obtain. Blessed are the ones showing forgiveness when they have a right or ability to punish, for they shall get forgiveness. Mercy, merciful, obtain. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Peacemakers, peacemakers, peacemakers. Bring peace to people who are enemies, right? So sometimes you might call this a reconciler, right? Someone who brings peace to people who are angry. Blessed are the people bringing peace to those who are enemies, for they shall be called children of God. Matthew 5:10. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So now we have this word persecuted, persecuted, persecuted. Angry, abusive treatment towards people who have a different religion, race, political belief. Blessed are those who have suffered abusive treatment for their beliefs, for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:11. Blessed are you when people reproach you, persecute you, and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. Reproach, reproach, reproach. Show disappointment or disapproval, right? I don't like what you did, or I don't like who you are. Disappointment, disapproval. Falsely, falsely, falsely. Simply, that is not true. What you just said about me is not true. That's false. So now we can have reproach, persecute, and falsely. Blessed are you when people show disappointment or disapproval of you, abuse you for your beliefs, and say all kinds of evil against you when it is not true, for my sake. Reproach, persecute, falsely. Matthew 5:12. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For that is how they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. I love this word. Show great joy or delight. Rejoice. Glad, glad, glad. Very happy and pleased. Two great words, rejoice and glad. Just be happy. Now we have the word prophets, prophets, prophets. This is someone who speaks for God or is an inspired teacher, usually inspired by God, a prophet. So now we have rejoice, glad, persecuted, and prophets. Show great joy and be exceedingly happy and pleased, for great is your reward in heaven. For that is how they abuse those speaking for God, for their beliefs, who were before you. Rejoice, glad, persecuted, prophets. Matthew 5:18. For most certainly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not even one smallest letter or one tiny pen stroke shall in any way pass away from the law until all things are accomplished. Pass away, pass away, pass away. This normally means to die. We'd say, you know, my dog has passed away. My great-grandmother has passed away. To die. Accomplished, accomplished, accomplished. This means to finish the plan. Finish what you start to do. I started to get a college degree. I finished all my coursework and I accomplished it. I got my college degree. Good job. Good job. So now we have pass away and accomplish. For most certainly, I tell you, until heaven and earth die, not even one smallest letter or one tiny pen stroke shall in any way pass away from the law until all things are finished with the plan. Pass away and accomplish. So there you have it. This has been all about contentment. I hope you've learned many new words and that your vocabulary is always expanding and getting greater. Been my pleasure to be here. Been my pleasure to teach you. Please let me know how I can fix up my office to be better, or maybe I'll just be content with it. I'll see you next time. Bye.